Senior sellers, trusts and leads, helping families with their needs. Probate, downsizing, market shift. Agents who move now get the lift. The future's changing every day. Smart agents lead the way. The silver tsunami is rising high. New opportunities changing lives. Stop competing, change the game, create more listings, build your name. Stop competing for listings, start creating them. More Deals Mastermind. That's where the winners win. Relationships open every door. Strategic moves mean so much more. The silver tsunami is rising high. New opportunities changing lives. Stop competing, change the game, create more listings, build your name. Stop competing for listings, start creating them. More Deals Mastermind. That's where the winners win. The silver tsunami is here. Time to grow your business this year.
Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but Cathy, that song is awesome. I don't know, you guys. To put it in the chat real quick, Cathy made that using AI, and it's the Silver Tsunami theme song. So that was fun. That got me fired up. So welcome everybody to another episode of the More Deals Mastermind. I'm your host, Robert Weichelt, the Silver Tsunami, and I'm joined by my partner, Cathy Ryan. She is absolutely going to bring the gear today. The Silver Tsunami, the biggest listing opportunity in the next 10 years. I grew this beard just for this class today. So I can certainly relate to what we're going to be going over. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We've got a lot of great stuff to share with you. Little housekeeping, if we can do everyone a favor, let's just keep muted. We always have the gardener or the dog in the background. So we certainly want to respect everybody else. So we want to make sure we're muted. We want to make sure that we put in the chat box, put in your name, where you're from, and what city you're from. And so we can have some conversations about that a little bit. So with that said, stop competing for listings, start creating them. Senior sellers, probate sales, downsizing transitions, generational wealth, and so much more. Can't wait to get started. So let's do this. Cathy, are you ready to rock and roll?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, Cathy, take it away.
Well, there's a huge opportunity for us that is untapped. And a lot of agents are competing for listings. And, that's our motto: stop competing for listings, start creating them. And one of the ways you can start creating them is through the senior market. There's a huge opportunity here because the baby boomers are aging and they are liquidating. So there's a lot of opportunity here for us to help them and guide them through the life transition. So let's move on to the next slide.
Absolutely. Let's get started. We're ready.
So a lot of agents, as I said, are competing for listings. They're going after the expireds. They're going after the for sale by owners. But this is an untapped niche that we can start marketing to. And the thing is a lot of agents are going in and asking these people if they want to sell. Well, the whole idea of selling at their age and their stage in life is overwhelming. They're like, I have my life here. I have so much stuff. I don't know where to go. And the normal ways of getting listings right now, wouldn't you say that the market has shifted?
It certainly has. Absolutely.
So there's fewer opportunities. Listings are harder to get right now. We've been dealing with that because before it was the sellers didn't want to sell because they had a low interest rate. Mm-hmm. So they would have to go in and purchase at a higher interest rate, which means their payments are higher unless they have the equity to buy it down and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different things that people are thinking of. Any comments here?
You know, I think the biggest thing to remember is the market. It's a reality. That's a huge segment of the market. Us as agents need to identify that market, understand that market, because it's a different thing. And you're going to go over that. It's a different type of market, just like a for sale by owner or an expired. It's a different conversation. And I think the more you know about how to converse with those types of sellers, the better off you are. Absolutely, Cathy. Great job. Let's go to the
Absolutely.
next. Let's go to the next topic here. Let's go here. Here we go. This is some amazing numbers here.
So why is this an opportunity? Well, 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every single day in the United States. That's a huge number. 78% of them own their home. Many of them are mortgage free. So we're going to get into the reverse mortgage with John, but there's opportunity there as well. And they're the number one underserved segment that most agents don't even want to tap into. It isn't just their principal residence, but there's a lot of mom and pop landlords that own 1, 2, up to 10 different properties as rentals. And as they're getting to the point of retiring, they may be thinking of liquidating. So there's an opportunity of that there. Another thing is they may be living in 2 stories, and they're at the point in their life physically they need to be in a single story. So they're keep thinking of these opportunities and the reasons why these people will be transitioning into a different home.
Now, you know what? I talk to sellers all the time, have been, uh, especially lately, and it's they're all have that 2 story, that proverbial 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 bedrooms are upstairs, one's downstairs, and they literally never go upstairs ever, and they use it as storage. Kids are
Mhm.
gone, and it's just there's a lot of that going on. So yeah, this is a big market, Cathy. I'll tell you. So
Yeah.
let's dive into the next topic here.
And they need to move, but they don't. And I personally had clients this way, and I had been talking to him, I kid you not, for 10 years. Um, Started talking to them when they were in their 70s. They had a 2 story home. It was getting harder. They were embarrassed because there was some deferred maintenance. And unfortunately, Mrs. died and Mr. went into a home, and they didn't end up selling their home and moving and downsizing. And that happens a lot. And the reason being is because nobody's come alongside them and guide them and let them know how to do this. They're overwhelmed. They don't know, some of them need to go into assisted living and don't even know where to begin. And that's where we start building our referral partners.
Absolutely. And you know what, Cathy? I look at this as the circle of life, the circle of home ownership. You get somebody that's just starting out on their very first purchase. There's a lot of handholding. And as they become more and more experienced, there's less and less handholding and more purchasing and what have you. Now we're getting to a spot where they need help. They could have a home that's completely rundown, deferred maintenance.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff going on where a lot of people keep a lot of things over those many years. So there's a lot of steps that we need to take before they even get onto the market, like getting the property identified in terms of cleaning, maybe an estate sales in order. Then we
Mhm.
need to deep clean. We need to fix items. There's a lot of moving parts before you even get to that point where you can sell it. So they don't know where to go, and we need to be the resource for them. So I
Yeah.
really think it's a great service to our seniors there. So let's go into what are some of the agents, where most agents go wrong. Let's dive into that.
Well, it's no different than the pre-foreclosures.
Yeah.
Agents dive in and say, let me help you sell your home. They start that conversation off, trying to get the listing, and that's where they go wrong. These people may be thinking of selling, but they're not ready. And if you go in there all salesy, you're not going to help them. If you go in there as a resource, as their advocate, as a guidance counselor per se, then you have a way of building that relationship, building that trust, Because mind you, they've been around the world. They know what happens with seniors. People are trying to take advantage of seniors all the time.
Yeah.
So if you go in there and say, I can help you sell your home and all of that, you just cut yourself out of getting that listing.
Yeah.
But if you go in there and build the relationship, build the trust, ask them what they need, what are they thinking about, and then have the tools and the resources to help them, when it comes time, they're going to list with you. Or if, God forbid, they pass on, their family's going to list with you because they knew how well you took care of their parent, their loved one.
Absolutely. I just helped my in-laws sell their condo because they're getting up there. They're in their 80s, late 80s. And we sold their home and I think it was all but paid off. And it helped them. They literally moved to a development next door to where they sold their condo,
Mhm.
went into a retirement home, La Vida, and those aren't cheap. So
No, they're not.
we need to maximize the amount of money these sellers are going to take with them for their next phase, whether it be retirement living, God forbid, hospice type of living, or if it's just downsizing. They need that money. So that's our job, is to squeeze as much equity out of that for them as well.
Absolutely.
So let's go to the next topic here. More deals approach. I mean, let's just be very clear. We're all about helping buyers, sellers, investors, agents grow their business. But we want to make sure that this is a business. We're looking to maximize our efforts and we want to help as much as we can, but we want to take this to the next level. So let's go into the more deals approach, Cathy.
Well, stop leading with selling. That's the number one. I mean, it's a whole different mind shift than working with an expired or for sale by owner. They've already raised their hand and said that they wanted to sell. So that's a different conversation than with the senior seller. Is you need to start understanding and asking questions on what they want. Where are they at? As I said, my clients, as I was talking to them for all that period of time, they were embarrassed at the lack of maintenance in their home. Mr. Seller couldn't keep up with it anymore. We got to let Lawrence in. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Um, so, um, so we start asking them, what do they want? What situation are they in? What are their concerns? What are their timeline? And so by asking these questions, we're creating the opportunity. It's not going to be a slam dunk. I'm going to get the listing on the first meeting. It's not going to be that. We're going to have to build a relationship and build trust. And it may take years. I talked to those people for over 10 years, and unfortunately, they never did anything. But I've talked to other seniors in the similar situation, and they ended up, working with me. Each situation's different, and we're either going to be a salesperson or we're going to be a concierge. And we're
Absolutely.
going to serve and we're going to provide service, can provide value. You decide what type of agent you want to be.
I love it. I love it. Let's continue. Let's go into a better way to start now. I know a lot of people are saying, why, I've never worked in the senior market. Do I need to be a senior? No, you just need to know how to communicate with seniors. And so let's tell them about the better way to start.
Well, we're not going to start with, are you thinking about selling your home? We're going to come from empathy. Have you thought about what the next chapter might look like in your life? And let them talk. Realtors have a terrible problem with talking. Put that out there and shut up.
Yep. Ask good questions.
We're going to dive into where to get to these leads and where to market them. And that's with Marianne. Marianne, John, and Tim, actually. And one of the things, go to senior meetings, go into the 55 and older, try to, when they have these fairs, get a table and be there as a resource. and start building your relationships. They want to trust you. They want to feel safe, not pressured. They want a real connection. That's why some younger people will have a better connection with the seniors because they will connect with them like their grandchildren. Who doesn't love their grandchildren?
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity for a younger agent to build that relationship. Honest conversations. Don't sugarcoat anything. Just actually have honest conversations. Well, that's Mr. Seller. I understand that, this is overwhelming to you, but, if you need help with maintenance, I have a handyman for that. If you need help with all the things that you have saved in your life collections, I have somebody that can help you move that out. I have somebody that'll help you organize. I have somebody that'll help you liquidate if that's where you want to go. House cleaners. I got house cleaners for you. So on and so forth. And it's building that list of trusted partners that you can then refer off to your senior clients. And there's no competition. Let's see a raise of hands. How many people are actually going after the senior market right now?
Hey guys, put it in the chat box so we can,
Yeah.
who's currently working with the senior market currently? And yeah, that would be great to know because there's so many people I talk to are not focusing on that senior market. And
Mhm.
it's, I think, an untapped market and it needs to be addressed and they need good agents helping them for
Yeah,
sure. Looks like
absolutely.
Andy's working in the senior market. I see. Andy,
Yeah.
do you have a question or are you just raising your hand that you work in the senior market?
You asked about the senior market, and yes, we are working the senior market here in the Palm Springs area.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great place to be. Thank you, Andy, for sharing.
Mhm.
Who else is working with the senior market and what city are you working in? Anyone else currently working with it? We'll look in the chat box. So go ahead, Cathy. Let's continue where the opportunity comes from. Let's talk about that.
So where the opportunity comes from, and this is where Marianne's going to get involved in this with a great tool to find these sellers, is again, one, going to the senior meetings, going to the HOAs when they got fairs. I know Pachanga has a huge senior fair that's usually geared towards Medicare. There's no reason why you can't go get a table there and share what you do with the senior market. No, I can guarantee you, because I'm also a Medicare agent, there are no realtors there. And here Pachanga has a huge one. So there's opportunities to get involved in. I have met senior clients in restaurants. I hear them at the next table talking, and I handed my card. I work with the senior market. I'd be happy to help you, and guide you whatever you need. And even if you're not selling, I have resources to help you.
Absolutely. And that's the key. I want to point that out. Resources. We're not looking to sell their home. We're looking to provide them with a help every step of the way. And there could be multiple steps before that home is even addressed. We want to make sure we're a resource. And that needs to come off that way because if you come in hot, you're going to scare them off. And that's not how you want to work this market. This is not a seller like you're working with a bank where a faceless bank, they want shorten to the point. Let's go. Whereas this, you need some handholding, like we mentioned before. Just like a new first-time buyer needs handholding, so does the senior market. This is a very delicate market, and they need to know that you're genuine and you're coming off with someone you're a trusted advisor for whatever is in front of them. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's go to the next thing, Cathy, because I know we've got some great stuff lined up here. Let's talk about positioning in the market, and I know we have a special speaker coming up here shortly. So let's go into your position in the market.
Your position in the market is a guide, an advocate, a resource. You want to give them clarity on who you are and how you can help them. You're not only a realtor, but you have partnerships and connections in the community that will be able to help them and guide them. Get to know even some of the senior doctors in the area. Build a relationship. People are at the age where they see the doctor a lot. So, go in and talk to the receptionist. Let them know, hey, I would love to be a resource for your patients. Will you take my information? That type of thing. Transition specialists. There's a lot of them here, especially around 55 and older communities. There are transition specialists that will help aging sellers get into assisted living.
Kathy, my nephew is a physical therapist, and he runs across a lot of folks that once they're visiting with him and they have those stairs they need to get rid of. I certainly come up in the conversation. So reaching out to people that are in that space on a regular basis and just have dialogue with them. And it's just, it's a great way to network. So, but go on. This is any other thing to add in terms of positioning?
No, just build those relationships with your partners so you can be that resource for that seller.
Absolutely. So let's go into that, becoming the resource, not just the realtor. We're not just here to sell your home. We're here to help them, guide them through the process from start to finish. Lots of moving parts. So let's go into the trusted advisor network, Cathy. Let's dive a little bit deeper into that.
So the reason you do that is because it builds trust before the listing. You position yourself as the expert. And who do you build your trusted advisor network with? Contractors and handymen, senior move managers, your moving company. Probate and estate attorneys are a great resource. Build a relationship with them. A lot of us go after the probates after the probate's been filed. Well, a lot of times they already have their realtor because the attorney has referred them. So there's a resource there. Financial advisors. The financial advisor will say, okay, we've saved all this all your life. Here we are. You need to transition to here, and this is what we can do. Here's a great realtor. Home health care referrals. Again, visiting angels. Those type of companies and services you should be building relationships with. And the list goes on.
It certainly does. And again, these are mind joggers. We're seeing a lot of great information in the chat, notary package for senior homes. That's a great way to go, by the way. There's just so many ways. And I know our speakers are going to really dive into some of the areas that they're working. But I think the biggest thing why this matters, we're building trust before the listing. And as long as we're coming from contribution and genuinely mean it, when you're positioning yourself as the expert, and it creates a lot of referral opportunities. That is one thing I can see. And what's the one thing I have seen as well. But it helps family during this. I have a lot of attorneys I work with, and I do a lot of divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, and they're always a good resource of business for you. And I know Tim is going to touch base on that because he's the go-to expert when it comes to the attorney process of this all. But at the end of the day, you're building long-term relationships. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. Cathy, anything else to bring up on this?
Well, reverse mortgage lenders and title representatives. We have both here, and they will be sharing on how we can help these people.
Yep, we're going to get right to them in a second. A couple of more mind joggers in terms of where leads come from. And we'll certainly share this presentation with you so you can have a mind jogger, at least these important slides, just to kind of remind you of things, downsizing, probate, trust. We're going to go into a lot of that stuff. Strategic referral partners, like Cathy mentioned. I think it's important to just to kind of remind ourselves of where we go and find business and help people in the process. So Cathy, thank you so much for diving into that and setting that up. We've got a great guest for you today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce Marianne to the crowd? We'll stop sharing and we'll let her take it over. And why don't you go ahead and introduce Marianne?
Well, Marianne is with Monarch Title. We have worked together for, 10, 15 years, a long time. she and Carl are my go-to. If I need anything that has to do with real estate, I go to them, and they have a great program called Farm IQ Pro that will is a tool that you can get these senior leads. So Marianne, thank you so much for joining us, and you got the reins. Go ahead.
All right. Well,
Very
thank you so
good.
much.
All right.
Okay, so just to barely touch on, thank you for the opportunity. I am grateful to be here to talk about this, and I love coming up with strategies and ways to go about that for your farming. And similar to what the statistics were saying earlier, there are 36% of all homes for people who are in this is a simple Google search, by the way, Silver Tsunami statistics, and $17 trillion of the US home equity. So this is so, so important. And another thing that was mentioned earlier was about people possibly downsizing. And so I am going to review Farm IQ, but we also have another program that does poll age. So this is just an example of anybody in Riverside County who could be living in a single family home, 2-story with a pool. And then we can go in and talk about demographics. Oh, it logged me out, but I can do 55 plus, and it will literally give you whoever you want, or I can do 65, 75, anything that you want. So we can get super, super granular with whoever your leads are, with multiple different farming programs that we have to offer so that you're speaking to the right audience. Because the most important thing is that when you are sending out your marketing messages, that it's not falling on the wrong audience. We want to make sure that you're speaking to the people who can hear it, who need it. So I can go ahead and do this with anybody one-on-one if they ever want to, but we can get really specific even with age with one of our other farming programs. So Farm IQ Pro, this is a great farming system because you're allowed to have as many farms as you want, and they live in your account and they update twice a month automatically. So normally you'll go to a title rep and you'll get a farm list, and you get a CSV file. And here you go. I have 4,200 homes in Canyon Lake, which is a very popular farm area for where we live. Everyone wants to work in Canyon Lake and live in Canyon Lake. So what we can do with this farm, because this is way too many homes for you to market to, is on our little drop down over here under complete farm, we can sort by empty nesters. So anybody who has been living in their home for 25 plus years, it's going to go ahead and sub farm this down to only 367 records. Now, that number is super manageable for you to be consistent with and to be reaching out to in multiple ways. It could be from phones and emails to obviously sending letters. And one of the things that I think is super important when you're talking about your trusted partner network are senior seminars. Put together a seminar with your trusted professionals, maybe even do it quarterly, and bring out the person who can, talk to them about financial planning, the estate planner. My husband brought me to a Social Security seminar, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's older than me, and I'm like, "I can't believe you're making me go." But you know what? I learned so much that I was wishing I had gone when I was 20 because it would have changed my outlook on everything. And they also had somebody there talking about insurance. And I just thought it was a super brilliant seminar. And it was held at our local library for $25 an hour. You can rent the room at the library. So it's a great opportunity for you to bring out your trusted partners. You don't need to know their business. They're going to be there to share, and you're going to be the person speaking and growing that relationship with trust for this demographic. And you know what? I would also encourage them to bring their children because this information is important for them to know too. So it's a really great way for you to have a multi-generational touch. So here we go. This could be your list of 367 homes in this one farm area where you could have your seminar on top of everything else. But your marketing pieces are going to be about your seminar and how you're going to help them. Another thing that is super important to the Silver Tsunami is they've probably lived in their home for 40 years. And you guys all know that 40 years worth of stuff, they're not going to want to move it all out. They're not going to want to paint and carpet. It's going to be an attachment. It's going to be hard for them. So that in-person touch is going to be so much more important than some of the other types of demographics that you could be marketing to. So speaking to them in a language about how you can help them would be the best way for you to build that trust. And of course, the partners that Cathy was talking about can definitely help. So let's say you liked this list and you wanted phones and emails. All I would do is click on this little green button that says get phones and emails, and then it would go ahead and take me to the next screen where I can purchase them. It is 6 cents per record. So anything that we have available, if you use the credit system in this farm program, it's 6 cents. So I would decide phones and emails, or I can uncheck one of these boxes if I don't want the phones. I can have the people at their mailing address, which means it's the owners, or the site address. We can also filter down on a previous step if we only want owner occupieds. Another option, so household contact information or just the individual on title. And then here is where I have my credits to spend. So this gives me all these records for 6 cents each. Whatever is not available, you don't pay for it. It's potentially going to cost me $20.55. Or if I just want to do a one-time purchase, it's 8 cents. Once you have these contacts, you put them in your CRM and you just start nurturing this list over and over again. So it's super easy. We took a farm that was 4,200 people and we turned it into a farm of 367 homes. So you can do this now with multiple farms, or if you know of an area that already is a 55 plus community, you can also go that direction. Or like I mentioned earlier, by going by age, it's all census information, but at least we know we're marketing to the right demographic. So if I go back to my farms, I'm just going to show you another farm. This was a specific farm area that people wanted only the manufactured homes in Wildomar. So this particular list, it doesn't matter whether it's single family homes or manufactured homes. You can do the exact same thing where I'm going to do empty nesters and it's going to take a 2,900 home farm, bring it down to 340. Now I have two lists. I have a list for 367, a list for 340. I'm at around 700 people that I'm marketing to regularly and consistently. So you can, like I said, have as many farms as you'd like. It's super easy to filter down. And when you are ready to export your farm, it's just literally a drop down here. So you can download this or you can even format it for your CRM that you prefer to use. So it will speak the language to go directly into your CRM. And then another really cool thing about this program is if you also want to layer in social media ads and you're not savvy with social media and Meta, you don't even need a business page. There is a way for you to place a Facebook ad only to the people on this list. So now you can show up in their mailbox. You could be reaching out to them by phone. You could be knocking on their door. And you can be showing up in social media newsfeed for Facebook and Instagram. It takes a couple minutes and it's $37.50 to run a 5-day ad. So it's another pretty cool tool that's in our farm system. If you are interested in getting an account, the account itself is free. And there's so much in here that is free. There's a few things that are paid, and everything I've talked about today has been very affordable, especially in relation to the cost of even postage. So I definitely think this is a great tool if you would like to do more digital farming as well as an option. Now, back to remembering who our demographic is, they may appreciate the handwritten card instead in their mailbox or even in addition to, because you are going to be trying to reach them on their level. And they might prefer that because they probably don't get a lot of mail that's personalized anymore. We just get our bills and our junk mail. So another thing I want to bring to your attention, we are big Tom Ferry fans, and one of the people at Tom Ferry, his name is Jimmy Mackin, started this program called Listing Leads. It also shows up in Breakthrough Broker. So if anyone's ever heard of Breakthrough Broker, you'll see a lot of these tools in there. But there is the Silver Tsunami Blueprint, and it's just an idea of other marketing pieces that you can be using in your business. I would take it and make it your own because they're all going to be different. But there is an option in here for your seller seminar invitation. So I went ahead and opened that so you have an idea of what that looks like. But it's just a letter. You can download this or open it in Canva and make it your own. And it's just an invitation to bring people to your seller seminar. There are social media posts in this blueprint and mail pieces, text. Let's just look at it really quick. I'll go right back through it. So we have a magic buyer letter, seller success story letter, home improvements, postcards, prospecting scripts. So lots of cool stuff in here. So if you are feeling like you have a little bit of writer's block, or I'm sure your hosts today probably have ideas for marketing pieces too, there is so much out there that we don't want you to get stuck in a position like, okay, I don't know what to say, or I don't know who to say it to, or I don't know what to do. That's where we come in, and we are more than happy to help you get a plan in place, and you can have an idea of pieces that you're going to want to have go out over time regularly and consistently so that you can reach them in different places at different times, and they'll see you showing up over and over and over again. So if you guys have a couple more minutes, I would need maybe 2 minutes, I can show you how you can pull the 55 plus list in one of our farming programs. And I just think it's really valuable because there's not a lot of things out there with age anymore.
Absolutely, Marianne. Go ahead and pull that up. And I want to make a quick note. If you have any questions about any of the information that's being provided today, reach out to Cathy Ryan, drop your information in the chat. Cathy Ryan will set up a time, meet with you, go over it, and then walk you through what Marianne's providing you. So that sounds like a good plan. So go ahead and put your information in the chat. If you want to reach out to Cathy, she'll walk you through this. So Marianne, take it away.
All right, perfect. So I just put in here Riverside County single family homes, 2-story with a pool. Let's say that they bought before the year 2000. This brings us to 4,400. And I'm going to say demographics, we're going to go age, and we can go 65 minimum. So there's 1,600 people in Riverside County that fit just that description. So if you wanted to get specific about downsizing, maybe they don't want to deal with the pool, maybe they don't want to deal with the stairs, that's a great opportunity. And we can get into mortgage rates, we can get into all kinds of different loan types, but most importantly, it gives you an opportunity to be specific with who you're trying to reach. And now we can also filter in phones for this. This one is 8 cents a record with mortgage information and 6 cents without it. So another really inexpensive way for you to build yourself a farm full of people that aren't just in a neighborhood, they're in an entire county. They can be in a city, a zip code, anything you want.
And in the demographic in which you're looking to target. So that is awesome. What I'm seeing here is there's no recreating the wheel. It's already done for you. It's right in here. You've got all the samples. You can do some great things. So I certainly recommend you reach out. Cathy has put her calendar link in the chat. I recommend you reach out to Cathy. Marianne, anything else that we need to cover before we go to our next guest?
Just to reiterate that I don't want you guys to ever be overwhelmed by the ideas. So please give me the opportunity to just tell me what you want, and then I can tell you where to get it, and we will get you going on it, and we'll make it as easy as possible. So
One question, Marianne.
Yes.
We have some agents here that are not from California.
Mhm.
Are these programs available for other states? Can they use them?
So yes, as long as the state, or I should say the county, is digital, there are some areas that are just not online.
Okay,
But anything that we have access to, our programs will work there.
awesome. Great. Thank you.
That is plug and play like us agents like. Marianne, thank you. And please
Thank
stick
you.
around. We're going to have a Q&A after our all of our guests have had a chance to explain what it is they're doing today. So stick around for Q&A. But our next guest, a good friend of mine, we've been buddies for a long time. I'm going to bring up my good friend and number 1.5 favorite drummer, because John's also a drummer, so we'll get to that. But Tim Yates, how are you, sir?
Wow, that was a great introduction. I appreciate it, my friend. I feel touched right now.
Well, I always introduce you as my favorite drummer, but my other favorite drummer's on the call, so that would be kind of weird.
Well, I was waiting for you to go with John. I wasn't sure was it going to be my name called or his name called. So
that's why we're having fun. So Tim Yates, we've been friends a long time. You do a great job. Trust the conversations that open the doors. Let's introduce the crowd to what you have going on. What do you got cooking, Tim?
I'll make this short and sweet, my friend. 10 years ago, I founded a small estate planning firm with the goal to make estate planning affordable and more accessible to the masses. I founded that company with my wife, Carrie, who's been serving as our firm's lead attorney ever since. Our firm has morphed and grown into now a platform, which is what we call My Legacy Link. And it's a full service legal firm centered around identifying life events. Cathy touched on something that I want to point out too, which is really important. Our philosophy is you don't talk to people about real estate services or legal services. You talk about life events. So you don't go into a conversation about that. So we decided to start trying that out. And it, to our, not to our surprise, but it worked out tremendously well that we started realizing when you start to converse with people and you're not talking to them about anything that's related to the service offerings that you give, and you start focusing on life events, marriage, divorce, families, children, school, college, graduations, all the things that are encompassing life events, it creates a much different environment for you to assist people and to develop relationships that turn into real business. When we look at the opportunity we have right now, I mean, one of the biggest areas that we need to focus on is that there's millions of families right now that are dealing with aging parents. I think what did Cathy say? What was it? 10,000. You said something about 10,000 people. Is it the I don't like to call them boomers, but that group is. Tell me about that again.
10,000 people turn 65 every single day.
Okay, there you go. That feeds right into exactly what we're talking about. So our whole platform is about teaching agents to identify life events even before these life events happen. And so we're talking about dealing with people with aging parents, inheritance issues, trust and estate planning, obviously, property transfers. Do you know that when it comes to property transfers here in California, that 7 out of 10 grant deeds have some kind of error on them? And that is a massive thing. And so if anybody that's ever dealt with lending or anything in the title side of things understand what an issue those things are. So a lot of the title companies outsource those services to our firm, which we correct deeds. We make sure that things are done properly so people's property taxes aren't reassessed, all the things that happen. So our whole thing is about teaching people to identify these life events, giving them the information they need so they can make informed decisions. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I look at the way the industry is going on the legal side of it, and it really mirrors the real estate side of it because we're offering services to people that they need, the agents and the attorneys that understand that these life conversations are going to separate themselves from their competition. No longer are you going to be talking about buying or selling of real estate or legal services needs. You're talking specifically about what their family is going through. And then through those needs, we can offer those services. So it's a plug and play system. Robert, I've also got to give you credit, man. You've helped me simplify this model tremendously to the point where we're just creating sample social media posts agents can use to get their phone ringing. And that's really what it's all about. It's about getting those conversations started, getting those phones ringing, and then knowing that they can be handed over to an amazing group of people that I've assembled. One thing that people don't realize that the attorneys that we have in our network, their hourly rate is nowhere near the hourly rate that other attorneys may charge, whether it's going through divorce, whether it's, marriage, whether it's death, whether it's, losing a job, all the things that encompass it. We take care of that. And we're just looking to offer this to more agents, and it's free.
And you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head. These are free tools, with the exception of buying some of those names, but it's super inexpensive. But these are free tools that we're introducing you to that are related to this market. That's the thing you need to do. Is there's no way we can do this on our own. We need to collectively do this. It's collaborating. It's all about. So Tim, wow, thank you, brother. So far we've got some good stuff, John. We've got drummer number 2, but not in that order, right, John? But I tell you what, we're covering all the bases. We've got the how to get the leads, how to dial it in through Marianne. We've got Tim Yates and his team of attorneys that can help you with all the stuff from a grant deed that's done improperly, or there's so many things that they can do. So we're building the team, we're putting the team together, and now no good team would be together without the lender component, reverse mortgage, reverse purchase, lots of things going on. So I want to bring up John Allen, my favorite lender. Just to be quite honest with you, he does a great job for us. We've known each other a very long time. And so John Allen, why don't you, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, my friend. And let's introduce the nice folks who you are and talk about some of the things you've got going on over there at Barrett.
Yeah, so again, my name's John Allen. I do a lot of forward VA, but I also do reverses. Um, it's I wanted for this particular podcast wanted to talk specifically about the HECM, which is slept on in the reverse purchase specifically.
Mhm.
Um, Not to go into too many guidelines and details and things like that. Everyone knows about reverse mortgages. The HECM is the FHA backed reverse mortgage, and um, the beginning age for that is 62. There is proprietary reverses that go down to 55. But the reverse purchase, which I think is a more recent thing, and it's kind of slept on a little bit, and because people maybe don't understand it, but very relevant to someone who has stairs, a pool, they want to downsize, they have equity, maybe there's a small loan or no loan, and they want to, and I'm going to use some examples that I'm going through myself because what better to use than something you've lived through. But like my mom right now owns her house. It's paid for. There's no mortgage. But she's getting up there, maybe needs a little bit more help. And when she had some recent hospital stays, I had to deploy my daughters, my wife, myself to kind of help my mom. And she's about 45 minutes away. So we're talking about like bringing her closer, meaning maybe even on the same property. So what we can do is basically you sell the departing residence, you use that money. Let's say she's going to have net $650,000. She could, for example, and I have to do the metrics, but buy like $1 million house, or maybe there's 2 units or another suite or something. And we could do that with a reverse purchase, meaning there's no mortgage on it. She puts the equity she has down, it's still on there. You put that down, you have a small mortgage of like 350 or something. There's no payments due. And it's again kind of reiterating what I think a lot of people have said so far is we're approaching this with solving problems. This isn't about rate sensitivity, this kind of thing. It's cash flow, but it's solving a problem. I would say also that very important to involve the heirs. Okay, like whether it's just a reverse that I'm doing when I'm doing a consultation, I'm either inviting them to be sitting at the table or I want to know who they are. It's a very important piece. They need to be involved and know. Um, and I can't emphasize enough. Tim would totally agree. The trust is so critical when properties are moving, changing hands, and there's a death situation. So if they have a reverse, they're up in years. It's so important that they put this in a trust and avoid probate. From a lending perspective, it's much easier. They don't need to take it out of the trust. They can close loans inside the trust. But it's the succession makes it so much easier. And so that conversation should be had. If they don't have it already in a trust. The house I live in was in a trust, had a reverse mortgage. Um, Grandmother passed. It was my wife's grandmother, and we were able to essentially refinance it because my wife was one of the beneficiaries. If we didn't have a trust, it would have been a whole mess. So my wife was on title. The trust deeded it to my wife and I. We were able to do a refinance. It wasn't a purchase of it. We were able to refinance it, pay the reverse off, and keep the house in the family. I'm doing another one for a lady who passed recently, and her daughters are the heirs. One wants to move in, and one is going to get paid out from the reverse. So there's a cash out component to it. One sister gets money, one sister stays and lives in the house. It's got to be her primary, so she's doing reverse. But she's got a departing residence that now she's going to sell. So there's real estate transactions. There's all these ancillary things to help out with because you're right. There's stuff. There's moving, cleaning, estate planning, all those things. But um, the metrics of that, we can get into it. It's different. Every person depends on age, depends on income. If there's any liens, do they need a line of credit? There's a lot of things that go into it. But when you're advising and you're talking to these folks, most people, your average person doesn't know that they can do a purchase with a reverse mortgage. And that's a very powerful tool. They can solve the problem, by moving out of the house that no longer meets their needs for whatever reason, whether it be area or steps or whatever case may be. They don't have to necessarily go into a home. They could downsize, they could be closer to their kids for help or whatever, and still purchase, carry their tax basis over to, well, California, I don't know how it is in every other state, but and not have a payment still for the rest of their life. So there's some solutions there.
And that's a huge tool, the reverse purchase. Not a lot of people know about it. So I certainly recommend you reach out to John. Have any questions about reverse purchase, reverse refinance? There's lots of options. Again, we just want to invite you to our team. We're introducing you to our team that helps us with this space. The Silver Tsunami is an amazing opportunity to reach out and help folks. I bet you can go through your phone right now and contact 10 people today based on just what we heard today. So thank you guys for jumping on. John, appreciate you. Barrett Financial, if you could drop your information in the chat for everybody, that'd be great. Tim Yates, awesome. Appreciate you. Marianne, awesome. Let's do this. Let's go into kind of wrapping this up today. I want to invite you to, if you have any questions about what you've heard today, you want to dial in your business. You're ready for more listings, because remember, more listings create more listing opportunities. More listings create buyer opportunities, investor opportunities, and if you're growing your team, agent opportunities. So if you're looking to grow your business, whether it be the Silver Tsunami or anything else you feel you want to grow your business, I encourage you to reach out. Let's do a strategy session and find out exactly, look under the hood and find out exactly what it's going to take to get you to where you want to go. So with that said, Cathy and I host this every single week. We are off next week. I'm traveling. Cathy's going to be having some work done. And we're going to, she's going in for a new knee, and we're going to be dark next on next Wednesday, because we'll be traveling, but we will be back. We're going to talk about the online offers platform. It's a tool that we use at our team.
Oh, the slide.
Yeah, I'm going to, can you see it?
No, there we go. No, where to go?
Oh, hold on. I had it up, and then let me go to it real quick, because this is a good one. This is going to be good. And Cathy, thanks for putting this together for us. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You can see it now?
I can see it.
Okay, good. So we're going to go over the online offers platform, the seller strategy agents need to understand now. It goes along with any seller that wants the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of liability, hassle, and expense, better conversions, better conversations, more listings, stronger trust, more opportunities. That's the way we work. So we'll join us next Wednesday, June 10th. Wednesday, June 10th is our next episode. And let's go to a Q&A. If anybody have any questions for our guests, whether it be for Marianne, for Tim Yates, or John Allen, any questions, or even for Cathy, any questions that we can help you with before we let you get back to work. John Allen, would you like to say anything before we say goodbye today, my friend?
Just thanks for having me on. Love to be a resource. I couldn't agree more with the panel that we need to lead with help, lead with value, not with sales. I think that's true across the board, but this is a conversation across the table type of deal and demographic. And if you lead with your heart, business will follow.
Amen, brother. Amen. I left a link in the chat if you guys want some more listings. We've got a free demo going on Thursdays. Anyone that's looking to look into that space, a lot of the stuff that Marianne talked about, we're going to be going over that tomorrow in a demo. Tim Yates, any last remarks for our group before we say goodbye today?
Yeah, just remember, 9 out of 10 people in your database do not have their homes in a living trust.
Mm-hmm.
Those are big numbers. Those are really big numbers. Thank you, Tim, for sharing. And Marianne, last but definitely not least, thank you so much for all your knowledge today that you shared. Any closing remarks for our guests before we say goodbye?
To piggyback on that vesting topic, we have the ability to find people also by their vesting. So if you wanted to have a seminar specifically on people doing an estate planning seminar and knowing what it means to have title held a certain way and what it doesn't mean, that's also a really great opportunity we can help you with.
Excellent. Well, I thank you so much. And guys, remember, if you jumped on this call, you can certainly see us on YouTube or Spotify. You'll be getting a reminder of all of our events. So click on join up anytime, register with us anytime you want to jump on. We're every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And before we say goodbye, I'd like to ask Cathy, my co-host, do you have any closing remarks for these fine people?
Well, just thank you for joining us. The Silver Tsunami is a great opportunity to grow your business. It's just one of those spokes in the wheel that you can build your business on. And, you know, Robert and I have been in the business for more than 30 years, and I would say that our businesses are built not only by prospecting, we do a lot of prospecting in the beginning, but to sustain your business, you need to build relationships. That's longevity in the real estate business, because otherwise you're going to get burnt out. But thank you so much. We're going to miss you guys next week. If you want the registration link for the online offers, please put your email in the chat. That registration page isn't up yet, and I'll be make sure that I send it out to you.
Excellent. Well, Cathy, I appreciate you. We'll be talking, I'm sure, later. But everybody, thank you for joining today. The More Deals Mastermind, where you create more opportunities in any market. And remember, Cathy, I always like to say, we'll see you in escrow.
Amen to that. Thank you, everyone. Tim, John, Marianne, we appreciate you for joining us today.
Have a good day,
It was
guys.
great.
So that was fun. Yeah. So we're thank you, John. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody that jumped on. You guys are awesome. I know